Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna go live, and we're gonna expect that the people begin to connect. So, thank you everybody that is today connected. I'm glad that see that people can join because I want to do this interactive. What we're gonna do is that I'm gonna be talking about the topic, and then I'm gonna give the opportunity to open the mic. So before that, please, I appreciate that the people get with the mics muted, so I will give opportunity to the people to stop. Today's topic, by the way, this is my first show, is 2025. Last week I didn't do the show because I was having some family vacations. I had the opportunity to go with my grandson, so it was really enjoyable. So I'm coming back. So this is my first show of 2025. When I was thinking in what to talk about, please, the mic mute, please. So when I was thinking about which topic I wanted to talk, please, can you keep your mic muted for y'all? Please mute it, and I will open when I give the opportunity. Okay, thank you. So as I was saying, when we were preparing this topic, I was thinking what topic to begin with the beginning of the year, and it popped up to my mind. Why don't talk about how you can transform your setbacks that you had in the 2024, and not looking them as opportunity, obstacle, and looking as opportunity for this year. So that's why I decided to call this show "Leading Through Setbacks, Transforming Obstacles into Opportunity." So this is a great moment because it's the beginning of the year. The people prepare their goals. You know, you have your vision, and then you prepare your goals. I did the last program that I did in December 31. I was talking about the importance of having your goals, setting your goals. I was telling that people have to write down their goals for this year and put it in a place that you can see it and revisit as much as possible from time to time, so you can measure how you're achieving your goals. So when you have your goals and you reflect about what happened last year, maybe you have a lot of wins, but also you can have had a lot of setbacks, situations that happened that didn't make you achieve your goals. So this is a great opportunity this year that not look them as obstacles. So reflect and look them as opportunities and transform them and make those setbacks opportunity to grow in this year. So this is the intention of this today's show. So talking about this, and thank for the people that are joining. I'm gonna be asking the people that be joining that keep them mics mute. I'm gonna open it when I give the opportunity to talk. So I want to talk about what are the main topics that you have to try to reflect when you try to transform your obstacles in opportunities. One of the main subtopics is what I call embracing the growth mindset. This is something that I have talked here many times, and I will not stress more to continue talking about this. Embracing a growth mindset. What does it mean? Because there is a big debate about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And I have been in several events that people debate about this. In today's world, having a growth mindset is key, because that's what is going to give you the ability to adapt, to think in a different way and try to do the things in a different way. So when you're having setbacks, if you have a growth mindset, even there were bad events in your life or in your business, you will see them as opportunities. You will see the good inside the bad. So that's why it's important having a growth mindset. I always talk about this because I'm Venezuelan born. I'm Hispanic from Venezuela, and one of the things that I always joke about is about this topic, growth mindset. Why? Because here in the US, it's very common that the people say that you have to think outside the box. It's very common that training people to think outside the box. Because the American culture has that has the frame, the people tend to be very framed. And sometimes when you want to do things different, you have to go outside that box, outside that frame. I always are saying that we, the Venezuelan, and this is very common to all the Latin American countries, or even in all the third world countries, that you have to think, because there's no box. Only think how to solve the situation. When you live in a country where everything is difficult, you have economical difficulties, political difficulties, many situations that you have to be handling in a daily basis. There is no box. You only have to think how to solve things in life, and it looks funny, but at the end, that is a key a strength. The Venezuelans like me that live here in the US, having that mindset that you have to think how to solve situation, at the end is good, because they become successful. Because when they put somebody with this type of mindset that they have to solve problem no matter what, in a management position, they become the leaders. They become the leaders because they're thinking different. They're thinking different, and they're trying to solve the situations. And this is exactly what I'm trying to explain here. When you're in a leadership position, or even in your life, try to think different. Try to see the things in a different way. Don't see the things in a negative way. The classical debate, if you're having a fixed, empty or half empty or half full glass, try to see the things in a different way. Give me a chance. They're having somebody sending me a message. Okay, somebody. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay. So when you do the things in that way, looking things in a positive way instead of in a negative way, you begin to see the things in a different way. So that's why the growth mindset is so important. The second subtopic that for me is very important is the adaptability. Be adaptive. When you have a growth mindset, and at the same time you have the ability to be adaptive, have the adaptability, this is a powerful combination. Because when you're in a leadership position and you have that adaptability, you can explore how navigate things in a flexible way. And it becomes a great skill. It becomes a great skill when the people have that ability to be adaptive. So the ability to be adaptive is one of the most key things today in the business world. When you're in a leadership position and you have the ability to be adapted to the situations, you will lead your team and they will become also adaptive. So now you are having an adaptive team and you are adaptive, and that's what makes companies great. Because they can adapt to the situation, they can adapt to what's going on in the world. In today's world, things are changing dramatically, are changing in a daily basis. So if you have that flexibility to be adaptive, this is a great strength. So it's very important that you have the ability to be adaptive. Another subtopic that is important is having emotional resilience. What is the emotional resilience? Because we have talked about the emotional intelligence. The emotional resilience is how you can learn and apply techniques that keep you calm and grounded no matter what adversity you are facing. The people that have the ability to keep calm and grounded and focused, no matter what situation you're having, that is a great trail, a great skill. It's very powerful. The people that have that ability to do that. And that is so key in today's world, that the things are changing so fast, and sometimes things are not going the way you predicted. Because remember, you prepare your goals, but maybe the things are going in a totally different way. It can be going in a totally different way. So you don't have to feel bad. You have to see the situation, reflect the situation, and make the adaptations and move on. And when you have that ability to think how to solve problems, how to change situation, and how to move on and keep calm and be focused, that is emotional resilience. So that's why it's so important, the emotional resilience. The other thing that is very important to convert those setbacks in opportunities is having the mindset for strategic problem solving. As I said, when you have a growth mindset and you have the ability to think outside the box, that you can see the things in a different way, now you can have a more mindset to have a strategic problem solving mindset. You're more prepared to face the changes, to face the struggles, to face the setbacks, because now you are equipped mentally and physically how to move on. So that's why when you have that strategic problem solving mindset, that becomes a great strength in the leadership. Those leaders that can navigate adversities, those leaders that even no matter what situation they're facing, they continue going and they keep motivated their teams. Those leaders are going to be the successful leaders. I'm going to talk later on about one example that I always think that is a great example of how you can navigate adversities and become successful. So when you're having any situation in your life, no matter if you're in a leadership position or is in your personal life, and you have the ability to understand first what you're going through. First, see what is your situation. Reflect. Begin to see potential solutions to the problem because you are calm and focused in solving the problem. And then move on. And maybe the answer for your problem, you have it in front of you, and maybe you haven't seen it. Or maybe you don't have the solution, but now you have the path how to get to the solution. So when you have that ability, you can begin to navigate how to make things happen. So that's why it's so important having a strategic problem solving mindset. That allows you to keep focus, to transform those obstacles in stepping stones to success. When you have that ability, you begin to see the things in a different way. You don't see those setbacks as obstacles. You see them as opportunity to convert them and tools to grow and to become successful. And the fifth subtopic that I want to reflect here is building trust. Building trust. This is so key in a leadership position. You have to build trust because, again, you are in front of your company. So now the company is going through situations, and now your employees are waiting to see what you're gonna say, what you're gonna do. Whatever you decide to do, even if it's something that it will be taking strong decision, like having layoffs, sometimes that happen. But when you are transparent, when you have an open communication, when you are empathic with your employee, because maybe you had to have some layoff, but maybe you go and talk with them and to explain what is the real situation of the company and why you're taking those decisions. So now you're being transparent, now you're being empathic, and you're being open communicating. That builds you trust because the people will see you as a reliable person, a trustful person. And when you build trust, you become transparent to your employee. You have an honest communication to them. Even any situation they're going through, they're going to become loyal to you because that will make cohesive the team. The team will lead you, will see you, and you will lead them by your example, and that will allow them to follow you. And now your communication is going to be stronger with them, and that will transform those setbacks in comebacks because the employees will remain loyal to you because you build trust. You build confidence. So set these 5 main topics. Well, the question will be, okay, but how I get that? How I do it? How I can transform those obstacles in opportunities? So let's deep dive a little bit more on this. So we said the first topic, we were talking about embracing the growth mindset, correct? So when you transform those setbacks and you learn what happened, what was the root cause of the situation, what you did wrong, what your employees did wrong, what you will do different if you had opportunity. When you reflect on that and you transform those obstacles in lessons, that enrich your experience. And that allows you to now do things in a better way, in a different way. So you can reframe through a learning process and transform those setbacks in comebacks. So this is important, reframing the setbacks, learning, having your learning curve. Another way is practicing self-reflections. When you have a setback and you analyze what was the situation you went through, when you try to identify the areas where you fail, areas that you can improve, there is where you're going to become successful. Because now you have identified the problems. Now you have identified what you did wrong, what your employees did wrong, what you had to do different. And when you come back in this year and you are going to go back again, now you have self-reflected and you're empowered because you learn from the situation and you understood what was going on, and now you're going to do things better. That's not a guarantee that everything's going to go perfect, but you're going to be improving. And part of that being resilient is that falling down, bouncing back, and continue going until you get successful. Another thing that you have to do is encourage your teams. When you're having those setbacks, talk with them. Have an open communication, because sometimes maybe you don't see the solutions and maybe the employees have the solution. Maybe the employee have ideas that can help you. So you have to encourage them to be involved in the problem-solving situation. And brainstorm with them. Brainstorm with them, empower them, give them the opportunity to speak and give their opinion and how they see the things. And believe me, maybe the answer, they have it. Sometimes the answer are there, because remember, you can be the leader, but doesn't mean that you know everything. So when you empower your teams and then you brainstorm idea with them, it becomes very powerful when you do that. And then now that you know the situation that you went through, you learned about what happened, how you failed, what were the root cause that happened, you reflected on that, and you had this brainstorming session with your employee and came with solutions. Remember, now you're having a growth mindset and try to be adaptive. So now you can begin to celebrate the small wins. And this is very important, because sometimes we are too tough with us. Sometimes we are really too tough with that, because we're having setbacks and we're having baby steps to correct the situation. Well, those baby steps, celebrate them. Every time you have a win, celebrate it. Or your employee has a win, celebrate it. Give them that, hey, you did it great. Or, hey, I did it great. Celebrate it. Celebrate it, because that will change your mindset. It will put you in a positive mood, thinking that things are going better. So those milestones that you're going to be gaining more confidence are going to build up the momentum. It will build that momentum where you're going to have a positive outlook through the time. So now it will change everything for you, because now you are going to be thinking in how to solve situations. And when you begin to see solutions and you begin to celebrate those small wins, now you're having a different mood. You're being more positive. And the fifth thing that is important, and I said it already, is communicate with clarity. Build trust. Be clear with your employees. Remember, the employees are smart. Sometimes some leaders have the unfortunate position to hide things to the employee. And the employee will understand when you're hiding something to them. So be trustful. Talk with clarity. Talk with clarity. Be transparent. Somebody has a mic open. I'm asking that, please mute. I'm going to give the opportunity to talk, but when I finish, I'm going to open the mics, okay? Thank you. So build the trust. Build the trust. So I'm going to summarize here that to transform those setbacks in opportunities, first, you had to be building trust with your employee. You had to reframe those setbacks. You had to practice the self-reflections. You had to encourage your team to brainstorm and give their input. You had to celebrate the small wins, and at the end, you had to communicate with clarity. If you do all these things, and I'm going to open the mic to the audience in some minutes to have their opinion, what has been their experience on this, or what they can add to this conversation. I'm giving more or less a main topic. The way the people that is first time coming, I'm gonna mention why I do this program this way, because this program is called Building Resilience. My name is Jose Pereira. The people that doesn't know me, I was a former hostage. I was a CEO of oil and gas here in the US, but I became an international hostage during 5 years. And when I came back, I decided to pivot my career and became a leadership and resilience coach. And I created this space I created my newsletter called Building Resilience, where I talk about leadership and resilience. So the newsletter began to evolve, and now I do this podcast every Monday, where the newsletter that I posted during the previous days, I explain it here. So this that we're talking today is my newsletter that I posted 4 or 5 days ago. If you go back to my profile, you will find my newsletter talking exactly about this topic. So I go and try to explain why I'm talking about this topic, and then I open the mics to the people to give them opportunity to express their opinion. That's the way we handle this. So said this, and now we're coming, in 5 minutes I'm going to open the mics. I always talk about a case study that you can see what we are talking today. Well, for me, there is a case study that for me is very relevant. Very relevant. I always talk about that case. It's the case of the comeback of Apple. If you go back to the history, in the late 1990s, Apple was really having a hard time. It was in the border of bankruptcy. And it was going so terrible that the board of Apple decided to fire Steve Jobs. So can you imagine that you are the creator of the company and the board decided and fires you? So they fired him. And he always mentioned that. And there is a famous speech he did in Stanford, where he was giving the speech to the students that were graduating. And he talked about that case. He said that when he was fired, he went to a big depression. He stayed like 6 months in a big depression because he felt that he created his baby that was Apple, and for some reason it began to go bad and he got fired. And one day he wake up like 6 months after through a big depression, and he began to say, hey, Steve, wake up, you have to move on. And he created a company called Next. X is Twitter. No, Next. 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 And Next began to be a successful company. At some point, Apple and Next got a merge. And Steve Jobs came back to the company. Well, that come back from him, and he always mentioned that he understood that he needed to get fired to understand all the process he went through, and he made the company to come back. And today Apple is Apple. So Steve Jobs, unfortunately, he passed, but he left his legacy. So this is a great example how you can convert a setback in a comeback and become stronger and successful, because that's what exactly Apple did. They were in the border of bankruptcy in 1990s. Steve Jobs was fired. He finally came back, and he took the company with his vision, and he transformed those obstacles in opportunities and made the company to become a great, successful company. So this is a case that really you can see what happened, because they begin to adapt to the new situation. People that maybe are not from that era, there are people here that maybe can follow me. That was the era of the Blackberries. I was a Blackberry guy. BlackBerry was an incredible phone. I loved the BlackBerry, but BlackBerry didn't understand the changes that were appearing in the market. Apple did it. So what happened? That BlackBerry today disappeared, and Apple took all the iPhones. So that's why having that mindset, they see the opportunities, and transform those setbacks in comebacks and adapt to the situation is what, and have a fresh view, change your strategy. It can catalyze an unprecedented growth. That's what happened with Apple. So I wanted to say that, and I'm going to open the mic in a few minutes. And if somebody wants to know more about this topic, of one of the sources that I was reading is Angela Duckworth. Angela Duckworth, she's an author that she has a book called The Grit. And in The Grit, she shows how you can overcome setbacks. That is exactly what she talks in her book. And one of the lessons that she provides is that you can commit through tough times, having the positive mindset, how you can convert it in good times. So you can transform the bad things into good things. Her works emphasizes the resilience. So for her, one of the main things to become stronger is being resilient, because through that resilience is they can build through facing adversities. Remember, one of the big skills in a leader is when you're having adversity and you can navigate it and maintain focus, calm and focus, and help your employees to go to the shore. Because the true leadership is tested when you're having those situations, they're pushing back from your comfort zone. In that moment is that really you're going to test if you're a true leader or not. And so, in a conclusion, leading through setbacks demand more than just optimism. It requires a structured approach, viewing the challenges as opportunity for transforming the situation. You have to learn from the situation you went through, understand what happened, have the root cause of the situation, see what went wrong, why, try to talk with your employee, have brainstorming sessions, and then when you have everything, you can transform that situation in a new coming, in a new start. So by applying that resilient things, you will become a strategic leader, because now you can innovate through the adversities and you can build the foundation for a sustainable success, like Apple did it. So now that I'm coming here to the first 30 minutes of the event, I open the mics. So I'm going to give the opportunity to anybody that wants to talk about what they reflect, what their opinion on this matter. Here wants to raise
Hi,
the hand.
Jose. My name is Candace Ragnus. How are you today?
Hello.
I appreciate you getting this event scheduled and sorted and such. It's very interesting to hear your perspectives and your takes on this subject. I'm going to kind of go off separately on something else. I'm quite interested, and again, if this isn't the place, perhaps we can talk offline. But I'm interested to understand briefly your experience within the oil industry and your, I guess, what happened with you, right? Becoming a hostage. That's actually what led me to your event and to follow you. I'm actually in the oil and energy industry as a recruitment consultant, specializing in IT and digital services, right? And so that kind of led me to this, in parallel to wanting to understand your perspectives and understanding what your takes are in terms of leading through setbacks and things of that nature.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah, I came from the oil and gas. I did my career in the oil and gas. I began my career in PDVSA, Venezuela, and they were assigned here to Citgo Petroleum, that is here in Houston. That is the U.S.-based refinery. And one of the things that I learned during my year of career is that you are trained. You became trained to face crises. You got training because If you come from the oil and gas, you know that you can have a blow up in a well, or a fire in a refinery, or many events, many events. Even the market can change. Here in the US, is very competitive, by the way. I remember always having the because we as Citgo, we have a broad chain of gas stations all over the US. So the market in the south was different to the west, and the west was different to the north. So, and if something was going on in Canada or in Europe or whatever, so there was a lot of challenge. But when I went through my hostage situation, nothing of my training, nothing. You were never prepared for a situation like that. Because I always say that you can be trained to handle crises, but when a big event comes into your life, you're not prepared. Nobody's prepared. I was not prepared. I had the training, but I was not prepared for that. But what happened? When you having any situation in your life, no matter what is the situation, but you decided, because this is a very personal choice. You decide, okay, this is my new reality. This is happening to me. Let's try to handle this. When you make that change in your mindset, and you decided to say, you know what, this is not going to break me. I'm going to move on. That's what happened to me. I don't know if you have followed me before. I have my book where I tell this very deeply, but my first year, I was really totally lost. Even I have all the experience in my previous corporate world. I went through a lot of situations in the oil and gas, but as I said, I was not prepared for this event. In my first year, I was really lost. But when I discovered that I needed to come back because I had a family waiting for me, that's where you convert those setbacks in comebacks. Because now I begin to say, okay, this is my new reality. I cannot handle this. I begin to have connection then with my family, and I said, okay, I'm going to leave it in their hands. What I decided to take care of me. So I needed to take care of me from my physical and my mental health. So try to make similarities in life. That is exactly what happened. That way you can be having any situation in your life or in your business, and then comes a situation that it disrupts you everything. There's where you're going to be tested. And the way you decided to handle this, if you get stuck in the problem, or you decided to say, okay, this is my new situation, let's see how we're going to handle it. And one of the most important things is not do things alone. This is a big mistake that leaders do. That when you're having a problem in your company, because you're the leader, you think you have all the solutions. And the people don't go and try to find empowerment with their employees. That's why having brainstorming sessions with employees is so key, because believe me, sometimes the solution they have and you're not seeing it. So it's a combination of having clarity, having your positive mindset, no matter what's going in your moment. Is matter of how you begin to see the things. When you get focused, calming focus is very important, because sometimes when you're having a situation, again, in your business or in your life, you get immersed in the problem. And that doesn't allow you to see the solution. So that's why it's important when you get focused, you begin to see the things more clear. And then you get connected with the people that can support you in your case. If you're in a company, it's your employees. If it's in a personal thing, it's your family. So that's what happened to me. So now you're working together with them, and then you begin to see the things more clear. And something that also I always mention is there is a piece that always is missing around. That is the spiritual piece. Having your heart in the right place, having your soul in the right place is so important too. In my case, I could survive because I went back to God. I went back to God, and I began to have faith in Him.
and I begin to have hope. And believe me, it works. It works when you begin to have that spiritual connection. It works. So it's a combination of things. But this can be applied to your business or to your life. I don't know if I mentioned to you with this.
No, that makes perfect sense, and I'm in line with that aspect of being engaged with God and having that spiritual connection. I think, everyone has their own perspectives. I've read a little bit on you, and that's why I said it's only recently um, since accepting this invitation that I've come to know you. So I'm a newbie. I don't know everything about you. I haven't had the blessing to dive in.
This
But go
this
ahead.
is my book. This is my book. My book is a little bit blurry here. Okay, my book is called From Hero to Billion, and the way I wrote my book, I try to reflect these things that I'm talking today is part of my reflection because, and I respect that any religion that anybody can profess, and very respectful in that. But I'm today a Christian guy. I'm an of God, and I discovered that in my past life, I didn't have God with me. And even I was a successful guy in my career, that was a missing piece. And when I went through this situation, I rediscovered God there because I began to read the Bible and begin to get, connected to that. And when I did that, everything changed for me because now I begin to see the things in a very different way. And it took 5 years. I stayed 5 years. But I begin to put those burdens in his hand, and now you feel more relief, and you begin to take care more of yourself. And this is something that I always talk. This is an analogy that you can apply in your life because sometimes you can be having issues in your life that you don't have to be a physical hostage, but believe me, you can be a mental hostage of situation in your life, and the similarities are the same. So that part of the spirituality for me is very important, and sometimes people don't think about that.
No, I think you're definitely spot on, and I agree with you 1,000%. And I believe that's what's happening to me. It's been exactly a year that I got laid off from my employer. Never in a million years would have thought so. I mean, I was there for 6 years, but to make a long story short, it's definitely brought me closer to the Lord. But in parallel, I feel stuck. I feel I'm still going through things, right? Because I just started my own consultancy, my own recruitment consultancy, and it's been, I guess, with that, it's been roughly about 8 months, and I know a ton of people within the industry, but it's almost like, okay, where are these people? Where are all these people that I helped? And it's not about getting something in return. It's more of that support. Where do I need to be? What else can I be doing? What am I missing? Where am I missing the mark? Because and it's not about me, and I'm working on changing that mindset. But again, it's like, okay, you think, okay, I should be here, and again, and pardon the others, but I know in the Bible, people, it's taken, sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes a second, but sometimes it takes years, it takes
Yeah.
months. And so that's recalibrated, or I'm relearning that, right? Because I've always grown up in a Christian home, but we're humans, we're people, we are not
Mhm.
perfect. And so, bringing that back into your mindset and into your everyday life, and making sure that you keep that center, it is a challenging every single day, because there are people that don't believe, or again, we can go on and go on. But the point is, I think, going back to your this whole, um, you know meeting, right? Leading through setbacks and transforming those obstacles into opportunities. So for me, it's more of what can I do? What am I missing? Who do I need to engage with? It's more of, Lord, bring me the right people, put the right people in front of me that will help me and that do have the knowledge that I don't know. And in parallel, if I can yield and bring knowledge in the space that I do know and help those others, that's what that's what I'm looking for, right? That connection to help each other and to grow.
There is a word that is very important: perseverance, and never give up. Never. I learned that, and that is the key of being resilient. Never give up. Never give up. So you're starting your new business. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, but
Right.
being perseverant. That's the key of the success. Be perseverant, and again, if you be adaptive, because sometimes you have to reflect. You said it. You want to know what are the right people you want. You have to reflect all what you have been doing during these 8 months, and if you have to make some tweaks, do it.
Right.
Do it, and continue. At some point, you're gonna become successful, my friend. If you're perseverant, you are gonna be successful, because that is the key. Yesterday, by the way, I was talking
you.
with a pastor, my pastor, and when he was saying something very important for me about the faith, because many people, you can make a poll and go and say, how many of the people here are Christian? And maybe 100% will say, I'm Christian. Do you believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. So he said, this is a popular faith. Everybody has a popular faith. But he said that one of the most important things is when you have a growing faith. That faith that keeps you having more and more and more and more, because that's what keeps you moving on. So have faith in yourself. See you where you want to be. If you want to be a big consultant, see yourself like a big consultant, because that is part of what the mindset is. When you begin to work and think how you ambition yourself, at some point you're gonna be there. So pursue your dream. Continue going, my friend.
Gracias. Thank you.
Dr. Rashad, mics are yours.
Yeah, can you hear me, Jose?
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, fine, thanks. I'd like to answer that question that Candace had just raised, actually. I've been at the top all the time throughout the world on various projects, and ended up as a CEO like you also. I've been through the oil world, engineering world, etc., like you. I find it's quite normal, actually, that people who are your yes men or yes women or whatever you might call them, they will be with you for about 3 months, and they'll keep finding out what kind of a position you are in. Are you any worth to them at all? And in the end, they'll just drop away. So when I decided to change my line of work, I put in decades of experience at top level positions. I decided to become a professor and teach exactly what I had learned. And people kept calling me up because I was offered another position as the regional managing director, which I refused. And I said, but they kept it open for about 6 months. But even then, too, people kept calling up and saying, where are you going next? And I said, I'm teaching. They said, what? You're teaching? I said, yeah, exactly what I've learned. So it's all a question of not depending upon people as such. It's really a question of just getting on with life. And I've always, admired a person like you, Jose, frankly speaking. What you have been through in 5 years, I believe it's hell on earth. And I think you were in solitary confinement for 1 year. And I understand that it's really your family that matters to you in the end. When you come out of it all, um, it's your family that matters, and it's the people close to you. But to answer exactly what Candice is talking about, I think you've got to learn to embrace challenges as they come, and you've got to let people grow around you. If you can capture the consultancy that you've got hold of, I think it's very important that you get talking to people and moving out of your comfort zone as such. And then you'll suddenly find that people will embrace what you're doing and understand that you are worth something. And gradually you'll find that you'll have your own people around you and your business will flourish, God willing. So take care and look after yourself. Thank you very much, Jose.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your share, Dr. Rashad. Always very spot on. And yeah, you're totally right. And as I was saying, one of the key things in any setback you're having, again, in your business or in your life, if don't do things alone. You have to get surrounded by the people that support you. If in your business, you have to get your employees involved. If it's in your family, you have to get your family involved. I always talk in my particular case, when I went through my hostage situation, I could never made this if it was not by my family. The people are not familiar with my case. When I went through my captivity, as Dr. Rashad said, I stayed my first year in solitary confinement, and I was starving. There was lack of food, and I lost 100 pounds. So the situation began to deteriorate very fast. So after 1 year, because there was a lot of tension between the U.S. and Venezuela, so they decided to give us some relief. They put us together. We were 6 guys. We were separated. We were put together, and they began to allow us to have food. Family providing our food, our family. So I have my eldest son. He had to move to Colombia. The people that doesn't know, Colombia is in the border with Venezuela, and he moved to Colombia because he couldn't go to Venezuela. So what he did is he moved to Colombia. He began to provide food every week, and then they send it through a courier to Venezuela, and somebody pick up the food and cooked. So it was a very complicated logistics, and they kept doing that for years. And my family was providing me medicine. So as an analogy, the only way you can do things in life is working together with the people that love you, in your company, your employees. That's why it's important that you have to build trust with your employees. Because when you build that trust and you're having any situation, those employees are loyal and now they're gonna try to help you. But if you're a mean boss, you treat very bad your employees, and then you're going through a bad situation, as Dr. Rashad said, they're gonna abandon you. They're gonna abandon you. So it depends the way you see the things. And I don't know who else, Dr. Rashad, you have the hand raised. Want to say something else? Anybody else want to say something? Because we have 7 minutes to come to the end. So if anybody wants to say something else, anybody want to contribute with another opinion? Faryal, very beautiful the picture, Faryal, by the way. I love that picture. So, well, if the people doesn't want to talk, I'm going to say something here before we close. By the way, let me give the credit to the people that are connected, because I'm connected in Facebook Live too. So I have Daniel. Daniel is the administrator of the page. I air this show through a channel in Facebook. There's a Christian channel called HOD Radio World Network. Daniel is the administrator. He's here. Thank you, Daniel, for being here. I have Daniela Lopez. I have Hakon Joseph. I have Anisha Thompson Hunter. I have Ma Adowa. I have Francisca Amadi. I have Stephen Riggins. I have Zenaida Pacheco, Angela Lynn Donato, Amelie Parker Togoksky, Mishaya Thornton, sorry if I'm pronouncing wrong the name, Sabrina Renee Freeman. I have MD Sakil, Tony Shelley, Garrett Scully, Clyde Ricardo, Mario Kepting, Moya Barker, Matthew Praise, Manasia Patra, Jacqueline Angus, Marilis Torres, Mahmoud Assad, Advance Halwood, Joyce Boniti, Wilton Blessing, Erika Morris, Edward. Well, we have a bunch of people here. I'm going to say this show, I leave it recorded in my podcast, in my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has surprised me. It's growing like 1,000 followers per week. It became crazy. And my podcast, after I put it, the recording, in 1 week has 2,000, 3,000 views. I put it in Facebook, and after 1 week has 1,000 views. So there are a lot of people are following this show after the fact. They're looking at the recording. So if anybody wants to go, they can go to my podcast and in my YouTube channel, my podcast. I have all the shows. Even you can see the previous shows. They are all recorded there. So I'm gonna come to the conclusion here because we have 4 minutes to finish. This is a very important topic, and I love the way Candice approached it because she is a clear example. Somebody that had her life, her perfect life, one day she got laid off. As she said, she wasn't not expecting that. And that's what happened in life. But that's what happened in life. That in life is that you're having your perfect life, and sometimes come a challenge, something that you're not expecting. The way you decide to face things in life, the way you decided to see the things in, because when you're having that adversity or that event in your life, at the beginning, you're going to deny it. You're going to say, this is not happening to me. You're going to say, no, this is a mistake. This is not happening to me. Then it becomes a process that you say, why this is happening to me? It's very normal. It's human. You begin to say, why this is happening to me? In my particular case, when I went to the hospital station, I get angry with God. Why, God, you did this to me? Why me? Why I don't deserve this? So that's what the people normally do. They deny it, and then they begin with anger to say why this is happening to me. But the moment you decided to say, okay, this is my situation, let's see how I'm going to handle it. That moment could take days, or can take years, or can take forever, and you don't find a solution. That is a very personal decision when you decided to move on. When you take the decision to move on and you change your mindset and say, okay, this is a bad situation, but I'm going to handle it. I have the tools. I'm going to look for support, and I'm going to move on. So when you begin to see the things in that way, the things begin to change for you. And you get surrounded with the people that support you, and together begin to find solutions. And you begin to take care of yourself, because this is something very important. Imagine that Candice, she's saying that she was laid off, and she decided to create her own consulting company. But she could stay in a bed crying all the day. How poor she is. Poor of me. So it's a personal decision how you decide to move on. She is having a company that is a startup. As any startup, she said that she had 8 months. She had to keep going. She had to keep going. And let me tell you, you can have failure. Maybe how many people doesn't begin a business and the first business fails? That doesn't mean that everything is ended. So take care of yourself. And last thing, connect with your spirituality. No matter what religion you profess, what thing you believe, you need to get connected to your spirituality, because that will give you relief in your soul. That will give you the path, finding the solution, because now you have faith. In my case, I begin to have faith in God. And when you begin to have faith in God, now all your burdens, you give them to Him. And then all the baggage that you have it in your shoulders, you giving that baggage to Him. And now you're having a very small carry-on. And then in that carry-on, you will put your dreams inside. And you will gonna go in the life with that carry-on. These are your dreams. Because now you know that the baggage is in His hand. And now you have your shoulder very light. And you begin to see yourself where you want to be in the future. Not where you are today is where you want to be. And you begin to walk in that way. That's the way you're going to become successful. So said this, we're coming to the end. Today is Monday. It's 9 a.m. This is a 1-hour show. I'm going to close it now. Thank you to the people that attended the event. This is going to get recorded. And I'm going to close now. Thank you, everybody that attended the event today in LinkedIn. Thank you, the people that attended here in Facebook. And at the count to 5, we're going to close the event.